We live?
We're live.
Excellent. I'm excited about this episode.
Me too.
I think it's going to be good.
Good start.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 3 of the 1717. Okay, Bennett. I've been thinking. We've been calling this thing a podcast, but it's not a podcast because we're not on the podcast app. We're just doing a video, so I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to make up a new word here. This is a vodcast. What do you think?
So you're trying to put a play on a video and a blog, like a vlog?
Yeah, it's like a vlog, but a podcast, so a vodcast. What do you think? I don't think it's a word. I've never heard it.
Oh, it's definitely not a word.
I like it.
Let me simmer on that one for a week.
Yeah, we'll let it ruminate. What do you guys think? Okay, so
I'm down for still calling it a show right now.
We're a show.
We're a show. We're gonna get rid of the word podcast because we're done. We're not a podcast.
Yeah.
We tried to put this thing on iTunes. iTunes hasn't gotten back to us. It's been like 2 weeks. So
yeah, the review process has been kind of bumpy apparently.
we might just screw iTunes and just stick to YouTube.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. YouTube is free, easy, cheap. I already said cheap because I said free. All right, let's get into episode 3 of 1717 show. All right. Now, if I remember last week, we left them hanging at the end when I forced you or tried to force you to tell them the story. Now, why don't you give us that story, okay? If you don't remember from last week or if you didn't watch the video to the end, I tried to get Bennett to tell the story of his late rabbit, Mr. or Mrs. Nugget.
Still don't know if it was a male or female.
You had this thing for like a year.
I know.
So why don't you tell us that story? What happened to poor old dear Nugget?
Well, first off, let me say it was encouraging because I had a lot of viewers text me or whatever and say, I really want to hear the bunny story. And it was encouraging because that was the last thing we talked about.
That means they watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
All 20 minutes.
But it was also surprising because I kind of left it off ruining it by saying it was a decapitated.
Yeah, you spoiled
it ended with. Okay, let me just get the story.
Tell us the story. Start from the beginning.
I don't even know how old it was. This was probably 2 years ago. Our good friend Will Hawk lives on a farm and he has bunnies, or he had bunnies. And
are you gonna finally put up the picture of this huge bunny, please?
Okay,
Come
we'll
on.
put up the picture
Right,
of this
right
huge. This
now.
is Mama, right? This is Mama Bunny that had all these bunny. What do you call these? Bunny? Bunnies?
Baby bunnies? I don't know.
I was trying to say like piglets, but bunny
I
hits.
bet there's a word for baby bunnies, but we don't know. Kids?
It's probably just bunnies because then they grow into a rabbit.
Tell them a story.
Okay. This rabbit had a bunch of babies, and I said, you know what? I think we should. Living with my mom and dad at the time, I said, I think we should get a bunny because we also had Lizzie, my little sister, and she would just get a kick out of it, having a little, because we have cats, but cats or whatever.
Your cats are not real. Like they're not yours. They're just strays that kind of wander in your house sometimes.
Yeah, I don't remember even if we got them or not. Anyways, I went over to Will's house and I picked out this little cute brown bunny, and I said, I can't remember what Will said. I asked him though if it was a male or female, and we were checking the thing out, and I think he said male. But supposedly with bunnies, it takes like 6 or 8 months until anything
they mature.
They mature, and then you can finally tell without getting too graphic. And so I picked out this cute little baby bunny. I'll throw up a picture.
Do you have a picture of the baby?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
great.
the cutest
so
little
cute.
picture. And my dad made a pen for it in our backyard, and it was thriving. We fed it every day, old vegetables, and
you named it what?
I named it Nugget.
Nugget.
Because it just looks like a little chicken nugget.
Yeah, it was tiny. Who knew it would grow into that giant thing?
Lizzie loved it. She loved feeding it. It was super friendly, super nice. I took it a lot of places actually with me because it would just hang around. Like even if we let it out.
Chill. I remember it was chill.
I can remember like it would escape sometimes out of its pen,
but it
would just hang around our house.
Did you know it escaped at our house one time?
What?
That's a different story for a different time. But one time, remember when we were at the beach? Your mom entrusted my mother to take care of it and my little siblings, and it escaped for like 24 hours, and we found it in the backyard. But anyway, that's a different story.
But it doesn't leave though. It likes
chill.
people. It stays. It stays wherever the food's at. And it wasn't like any other morning, except I woke up, hopped in the shower, and then I'm in the shower and I hear a knock on the door. And it was my dad. I said, "What's up?" And he said, "We got a problem with Nugget." And I said, well, what's going on? He said, you just need to get out and come down and see it. And so I dry off, put some clothes on, go into the backyard and look at the pen that Nugget was in, and there was a headless bunny. Like, just to put it
clean. Like, it was clean cut.
It was a clean cut. And ironically, I'm not even making this up. There was articles in the newspaper of coyotes like running through Brookstone neighborhood, and that's what we think it was.
Pretty close to you. Yeah.
And yeah, we had a decapitated bunny
but
body.
Wouldn't a coyote like eat it?
I don't know, dude. It was weird.
It wasn't eaten. It was just the head was clean cut off. You know what I think it was? I think it was like a raccoon or a fox or something that wasn't there to eat it. It was just there to have a little sadistic fun, you know? Because, you know, raccoons, they're devil spawn.
Yeah.
That's wild.
You know, it's funny. We got a second bunny right after that, and I don't want to take a lot of time on this, but I'm just not going to get bunnies anymore because that one, it didn't die. It did die, but it got...
it did die.
I don't know if it ran away, but we woke up one morning and only its tail was in the pen.
Yeah.
So,
see that?
Maybe bunnies aren't my thing.
Maybe we shouldn't get a bunny.
Maybe we shouldn't have told the story. This video might get demonetized.
From headless bunnies? I wonder. I don't know. You know that?
That's the story of Nugget, though. Sad story.
That is wild. Sad mystery. Who knows? If you guys have any ideas of what it is, you can tell us. Like, we have no idea who the heck or what the heck would have done something like that. But I have a story for you, too. Now.
Tell me.
It has nothing to do with rabbits or anybody dying, but it's a pretty funny story. And I say this because my grandparents are in town from California right now. And they're here for a week. And my dad grew up in California, Southern California, right on the Mexican border, in a little town called El Centro, right in the valley in the middle of the desert. And my grandma was just telling me the story, and I cannot believe I've never heard this story, but she just told me the story 2 or 3 days ago when I was eating dinner with her, about a time when my father was in high school. I'm pretty sure he was in high school, and he played basketball.
Okay.
And now this little town of El Centro, at this time in the late 80s, it had like 3,000 people in it. It was tiny. I mean, that's probably an exaggeration, but it had just a couple thousand people. It was teeny, tiny little town, little tiny desert town in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And so because it was such a small town and because it was like right on the border, there was pretty bad crime in the neighborhoods that they were in. And my grandma, they didn't live in a bad neighborhood, but there was no good neighborhood in El Centro, California in the late 80s. You know? And so they were experiencing a lot of break-ins. They would have people,
in their house.
Yeah, in their house. They would have a guy break into their house and steal something. But they wouldn't have, like, it wasn't one time where everything was stolen. It was a pattern. Every single Tuesday and Thursday night, my grandparents would go to my dad's basketball games at the school. And somebody figured out that they were always gone every Tuesday and Thursday. So every single Tuesday and Thursday, they would get home and something would be missing from their house. At first, they thought it was just a coincidence, like maybe like a radio's gone here, maybe like a clock's gone here, maybe, you know, they're literally things like lotion or shampoo, maybe like a bread loaf, something like that. And they thought they were just going crazy, right? Oh, we're just losing things or whatever.
Right.
But it lasted for like months and months and months. And eventually they realized somebody is getting into our house. Like somebody
That's
is
freaky, dude.
Somebody's coming into our house and they know because it only
freaky.
happens on Tuesday, Thursday when they're gone. And they think they figured out how. When my dad was a kid, they had a big dog. And so in their back door, they have a big dog door. And the person was sticking their hand up the doggy door and unlocking the door from the inside. Now, that's pretty wild, but it gets even crazier.
Oh, my gosh.
So,
oh, my gosh.
My grandparents tell the police about this. But again, it's the late 80s in a town of 5,000 people on the Mexican border. The police don't do anything. They just sit around and eat donuts all day. Like they literally,
they're the stereotypical cops.
They're the stereotypical small town desert cops that don't know what they're doing.
That's funny.
And so they're like, yeah, we'll look into it. And then months go by. Police haven't done anything. They're still getting robbed every Tuesday, Thursday. So my grandmother, and if you knew my grandmother, you would know that this is such a her thing to do. She hires a 17-year-old kid from my dad's high school, the senior in high school, 17 years old. And she says, hey, kid, I'll give you $10 an hour if you just sit at my house every Tuesday and Thursday and wait for this guy to show up and like catch him. And like this is like a 17-year-old kid. Like they're paying him to catch a burglar. It's like like what kind of a buffoonery is this?
I wish I lived in the 80s.
I know. And so the kid, of course, is like, yeah, totally. Like it sounds like a great gig to me.
Right.
So it goes around Tuesday night. The guy doesn't show. All right, he goes there on Wednesday night. The guy to the show. This kid's like, oh, easy money. This is awesome. He's just sitting in the living room watching TV while the parents are away, making $10 an hour or whatever. So let me set the scene. There's a living room in the front of the house, and then you walk through a hallway, and there's a kitchen in the back of the house. And the kitchen is where the door is that he's breaking into. And then outside that is the backyard. Well, it's Thursday night. My grandparents are at the game. This 17-year-old kid is in their house, just in the living room watching TV. He's in there thinking, he's getting paid to just sit around and do nothing. All of a sudden, he hears the door open from the back, and he's like, oh, no. Oh I got to actually work for my money now.
Oh, my gosh.
This is so funny. So this kid walks back there. He's like getting ready for like a fight. He's like, oh, man, what's going to happen? Like, I don't know who this guy is. I mean, because he knows the story. Like, he knows what he's there to do. Like, the grandpa's like, there's a guy breaking in, and we want you to catch him. And, like, I don't know what he was going to do when he caught him. Like, tackle him, call the cops.
I'm so scared about what you're about to say.
He walks into the kitchen, and there's a guy just standing there. This guy, I forgot what he looked like. He was not a huge guy. He was like 5'10", just normal sized guy. And he's just sitting there, and they just look at each other. And this kid's like, "What are you doing here?" And the burglar goes, "What are you doing here?" And this kid goes, "Wait a minute, you're not supposed to be here. Are you breaking their house?" And the guy's like, "No." And he's like, "What do you mean, no? You're in their house." And this guy's like, "I'm not doing anything in here. I just came in here because I was hungry." He said, "I'm in here because I was hungry." And the kid's like, "Oh, okay. Here, do you want an apple?" And so the kid sits down with this guy on their kitchen table, and they start eating together. He gives this guy an apple. This guy starts eating this apple. And the kid's like, "So, what's your name?" And they all have a conversation. This burglar in my grandparents' house, they're just sitting there, chumming it up in there. And the kid's thinking, okay, I got to call the cops somehow. I got to, do something. And so the kid's like, well, you probably should get going. Like, it's getting kind of late. Like, literally, like, it's like they're old pals, just sitting in this stranger's kitchen.
This is so weird.
It's like, well, you should probably get going. It's getting late. And the guy's like, oh, yeah, you're right. Well, I'll catch you later, man. He leaves, right? He's still got the apple in his hand. He's still halfway done with it. He leaves. He goes out the back door where he came in. And the kid calls the cops, gives them a 911, says, hey, yeah. The evangelist house? Yeah, they just got broken into again that you haven't done anything about. The guy is walking down the street. He's wearing such and such clothes. And the cop's like, okay, we'll look into it. We'll come over there. And he's like, oh, and by the way, he's got an apple. And the cops are like, okay, that's kind of weird, but whatever. He's like, yeah, I gave him an apple. I'm like, why'd you give him an apple? I don't know. It seemed like the thing to do.
Yeah.
The cops pull up, and they get a call later. My grandparents did say, hey, we caught the guy. And my grandpa was like, oh, that's awesome. How'd you find him? Like, we just pulled over the first guy we saw eating an apple on the side of the road. And it was the guy. He was walking down their street eating their apple. And the cops saw him eating the apple. Was like, I wonder if that's the guy. And you know what? He did not get charged for anything. Okay, he did not get charged for stealing them because the grandparents came in and were like, this is the guy who's been stealing our stuff for the past few months. Can we go into his house and get all our stuff? Like, can we get a warrant to get our stuff back? And the cops are like, ma'am, there is no evidence that this is the same man who has been stealing from your house the last 6 months. And she's like, you found him in my house. So he ended up getting arrested for breaking and entering, but never for theft.
I don't know what's weirder, the fact that he had a conversation with y'all's bodyguard and your 17-year-old bodyguard let him into the house, or that he was caught eating an apple. That's actually hilarious.
That's the funniest part ever. They're like, oh yeah, we pulled over the first guy we saw eating an apple on the side of the street.
That's so funny. That almost sounds like...
It sounds like something you see in like a comedy.
It really does. Oh my gosh.
It was so funny. But
That's
dude,
funny.
that reminds me.
What?
I need to ask you a question. This is going to be a video of stories. This is going to be an episode of stories.
What's new? This is all we do.
Last was the idea episode. This is the story episode. Okay. I have a story that you need to tell me about. I don't know if it's true or not, but did you ever... Okay, so this might seem really obscure and random. I don't know if you would remember it.
Okay.
But when we were in high school, did you ever film a music video? Were you ever in a music video where you held hands with a random girl? Like that you didn't know?
Yeah. Wait, what? Yes. I was in a music video.
Dude.
How do you know about that?
Okay.
How do you know about that?
I haven't seen it, but so I'm in this class with this girl, right? And it's my chemistry class or whatever. And I'm talking to her or whatever, and she finds out that I live with the roommate. She's like, oh, let me show you. She's like, oh, let me see a picture of your roommate. So I show her a picture of you.
Okay.
And she's like, oh my God, I know that guy. I'm like, how? She's like, I don't know his name. But like 2 or 3 years ago, when we were in high school, I filmed a music video where I had to hold this guy's hand for one of the scenes.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And so I'm like, are
Dude,
you
that
sure
was
that's
like
the same guy?
that was like 4 or 5 years ago. Dude, that was.
Dude, do you know what the video is?
Yeah.
Dude, show it to me. Pull it up. Pull it up right now. Dude, that's so wild. My God.
I feel like I would have shown you this video because Bailey and I were both in it.
I don't know.
Look it up. Guy's name was Ricky Gunn. There's no more of a country name than that. Ricky Gunn. Video called King of This Town.
That's hilarious.
Okay.
All right, just skip to the part where you're in it.
Okay.
That's hilarious. Oh my God.
60,000. Me hand holding this girl has 60,000 views. Hold on, let me find it. It's like right in the middle.
All right, let me see.
Okay, yeah, here it is. So this was filmed in Harris County High School. Yeah. By the way.
Yeah, that's where she went. That's where she said it was filmed. Yeah.
That's so weird.
All
okay.
Right, let me hear it.
Here we go. That's not the girl I held hands with. She was the main star. Right there. Did you see it?
Yes.
Did you see it?
Yeah. Hold on, back it up.
It's coming up. Right there.
That's so funny. You're barely in it, but for a split second, that's
how did she know that was me?
That's so funny. I don't know. I mean, she recognized you. She remembered you.
I could not tell you what her face looked like, nor what her hand felt like. All I know is that Bailey was giving me a hard time. He's like, oh, you could hold hands with the girl. And I didn't even know. I didn't even get paid for it. I was all volunteer, man.
Yeah, you were unpaid extra. Oh, my God.
That is so funny and ironic that she remembered that and that she knew my face.
That's so funny. It's power of women, I guess. I don't know.
Wow. That brings back some good memories. Joe?
Bennett?
I think it's time that we do something crazy on the show.
I think you're right. I think it's time we spice things up a little bit.
If any of y'all know me, y'all know that I've been talking about this day for a long time, and none of you thought that I would ever do it. But today is the day that I'm going to dye my hair.
I fully support this endeavor.
Like, I'm talking, we're going blonde all on the top.
You
just said you're in this.
I'm not dyeing my hair. Bennett's dyeing
You're filming it though.
Oh, I'm filming it. Yes.
So I brought this idea to Joseph, and what better way to do it than on the 1717 show?
Yeah, of course. So we're gonna do it right now?
Let's go do it right now. Let's go.
All right, so we got the goods. We got Bennett.
I'm a little nervous.
We have your lovely assistant,
Miss Erica. Okay, what's the first step here? Gloves. Is my shirt gonna get ruined? Do I wear a shirt I don't care about? Okay, you change shirts. Why are you stressed? This is your profession.
This is just not professional.
Bennett, are you confident right now?
I'm confident in Kelly that she will do great things.
Really well. He's gonna be a good coach. Scared. Do you have a clip?
Do I have a clip?
Erica, hold this first.
Pretty much.
Okay.
But leave some of his root though, because he.
Will
wants
you
to,
like hold that?
He wants to. And then Erica, another thing.
Mom, if you're watching this, I love you. Please don't hate me. Mom, just you know how I've always just talked about me dyeing my hair blonde?
Yes.
So I have a girl from College House here. Her name's Kelly. She works at Euphoria Salon, and another friend from College House, Erica. And I am currently dyeing my hair for the show Joe is filming.
Hey, Miss Danny.
Oh, this is gray water coming out of my hair. It smells.
Thomas is like bleached. Yours is like.
This towel is screwed.
Yeah, poor
No,
guy.
It smells so bad.
That's what a washing machine is for.
Dude, you look like Guy Fieri.
Oh, shut up!
Don't
shut up!
She was screaming.
It's kind of scary though, isn't it? Imagine having to learn how to do this on people's hair. I'm putting it everywhere. Don't freak out.
Looks good, actually.
Yeah.
That looks actually really cool. Hey, look up real quick, Bennett.
Look cool?
Yeah, you look awesome.
Beeps.
Oh, hold on.
Okay, so I have not seen it yet. Joe and Kelly and Erica have. So we're gonna go check it out.
Let's go see it in the mirror.
I'm gonna hide from this first one.
Hang on, I'm gonna film you.
I'm scared, dude.
Alright, look at yourself.
Whole.
What do you think?
What the heck?
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I dig it. You know what you remind me of? Have you ever seen Dragon Ball?
No.
Well, in Dragon Ball, the Saiyans, which is like an alien race that Goku is the main character, when they power up, they go into like something called Super Saiyan, and when they power up, their hair sticks up and it turns yellow. You look like a Super Saiyan.
I don't know if that's a good thing in 2018 in Columbus, Georgia. We're not in ancient China where we have powers.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
I can't believe
It's
I just
wonderful.
did this.
I like it.
This is not Photoshop, folks. This is legit.
All right, Bennett. It's time for our weekly segment of what?
Billion-dollar
Your
ideas.
billion-dollar idea.
By
As if
Bennett.
dyeing his hair was not a big enough idea. Let's hear your one for this week. I haven't heard this. Let's hear it.
I'm still getting over this. Okay.
He's
I need to move
He's still
on.
adjusting to his new condition in life.
Billion-dollar idea. This one's actually so good. I don't know how it isn't a thing. Okay,
Tell
so
me.
you know, and I'm not going to rag out bar burritos or Moe's, but you know the burrito places that you go and get burritos.
Yep.
You go, you get a tortilla, you put all the stuff in it. They start rice, beans, meat, veggie, like whatever you want on it. But it's all layered.
Guac for extra money.
Yeah. It's all layered, right? I feel like people aren't even going to be listening to this. They're just going to be looking at my hair.
Okay, no.
So it's like a layered burrito, right? And you go and you eat it, you bite out of one side, and all you get is meat and rice. Then you bite out of the other side, all you get is veggies and like cheese.
I feel.
Imagine if there was a burrito restaurant where you put all your ingredients into one bowl, mix the bowl so it's thoroughly mixed, then lay your creation out on a tortilla and wrap it so you have an evenly spread burrito of all your favorite ingredients into it.
It's not a bad idea, and it's so simple that like it'd be so easy.
Yeah, like I know there's like the places have like bowls,
yeah,
but
a burrito bowl in a burrito in a tortilla.
Like it's all even. You get every flavor that you put in there because that's why you put it in, not just to taste the meat in there.
Let's email Moe's and see if we can get some royalties off your idea.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good one, not a bad one.
That's not bad, isn't it? We could call it. I don't know what we call it. The burrito bowl burrito.
No, the burrito bowl burrito. The even burrito. I don't know. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I love your hair.
I struggled through that last segment. Okay, well, guys, that is all we have for you today on episode 3 of the 1717
Vodcast.
Well,
Wait a minute.
I don't know if we'll keep that.
Are you going to tell them about what we have planned for them next week?
Yes, next week we decided that the first 3 or 4 weeks we wanted to do just Joe and I, but we decided that next week, episode 4, we're gonna have our first guest on. We're gonna have Evan Henson. He's a good friend of mine who just has an incredible story, and he's gonna come on and share it.
Yeah. Usually we like to keep things light here, but next week we'll probably get pretty heavy. I think.
Yeah, get a little
We're
more
gonna
serious.
get serious. Yeah, which I think will be good.
I'm excited because you haven't heard his story either, so it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
for sure. So tune in. It'll be great. Next week, every Thursday.
Love y'all. See ya.